in the most common type of depression, people have episodes of depression only. But there's a less common condition, which we call bipolar disorder, where people have not only episodes of depression, but also episodes of high periods where someone just feels elated, euphoric, too happy, out of control, hardly need to sleep at all, and often get themselves into trouble during these high spells. And this condition used to be called manic depressive illness, but we now refer to it as bipolar disorder, referring to the mood swings in both directions.
Okay, so they're either very high or they're extremely low.
Yeah. And sometimes in the middle, sometimes normal mood, but their episodes can be either high or low.
Okay. Depression itself, when we talk about the different types of depression, how common is it in general?
It's actually quite common. About 15% of the adult population in the United States will experience an episode of depression at some time in their life. In any given year, 10% of American adults will experience an episode of depression. Now that's 19 million adults in a given year. That's roughly 10% of the adult population of the United States. And it's interesting, the incidence of depression is higher than the incidence of cancer, coronary artery disease, and AIDS combined.
Amazing.
So it's a very common condition.
It's not a condition to be embarrassed about. It's one
Correct.
to say, okay, I suffer from depression. You can get help for this. But what about the viewer who's out there today and they say, you know, I'm suffering from depression. I really don't know what to do. I think I have these signs and symptoms. What do they do? How do they get help? And when do they know when to get help? Because it's probably the first step for them.
Yeah. First of all is recognizing it, and we can talk about the symptoms in a little bit. But basically, when someone is experiencing low mood, feeling down in the dumps, and that persists and it begins to affect their ability to function in everyday activities, that is when one ought to consider getting treatment.